Tasmanian wine industry is one of the world's best examples of boutique production. But what is it about this extraordinary and beautiful place that makes the wine so remarkable? Well, that's the question that I and every wine lover wants to answer. So, why don't you come with me as we go Unbottle Tasmania?
Oh, it's very basic. It's what I call a very European lazy winemaking, I'd say that.
We tend to not have anything set up for machinery. So when you're working at a boutique level in the vineyard, that translates into boutique wines in the winery.
There's certainly at least half a dozen distinctly different sub-regions within Tasmania that have different climates, different rainfalls, different soil types.
With Tasmanian sparklings, they follow maybe a more traditional style like you might see out of Champagne, and because of the climate they're grown in, what that means is you've got almost a blank canvas for the winemaker to work with.
Well, a cool climate wine, they're renowned for having a very zesty and crisp palate, so you should be looking for a nice crisp palate with a very elegant nose to it. It should have a beautiful floral nose.
Moving down here for this job, I wasn't sure, I know, a winery in the middle of the city type thing, but when you're on the property, it feels like you're out in the country. It's not until you leave that you realise you're in the suburbs still.
Winemaking is not a secret. Everybody's trying to do his own little thing. Obviously, you want to be better than the neighbours.
Tasmania is so well suited to the production of grapes. But remember, what happens in the vineyard is only part of the story. Then the grapes head into the winery, and that's where the science, the art and the craft of making wine begins. What are you doing here?
So this is some Pinot Noir that we have in here.
How long's it been in?
It's been in here for a few days now. So it's just starting to kick off ferment.
You can see the bubbles all coming up through the surface there.
Yeah, so what we're doing with this wine is we're actually letting it ferment naturally.
Wild fermentation?
Yeah, so you're using the yeast that naturally live in the vineyard and in the winery to do your fermentation. So again, that helps you give a sense of place to your wine.
Now, one of the downsides of wild fermentation are the critters. You've got a few friends hanging around.
Yeah, we have.
Jeremy, I like to think I know a thing or two about food, including identifying good quality fruit. What is wrong with these grapes? They look terrible.
So these we've actually left here specifically to get a mould growth on them.
You want them to go furry on the vine?
So we'll leave these probably for another 4 weeks. We want a fair bit of that mould to develop, but really we more want that botrytis to develop inside the berries and give us that incredible sweetness and flavour. But we still want to pick early enough so that we've got some whole berries retaining some natural acidity.
With all these different varietals, you've gone and found an unusual way to give them each their own identity.
Yes, well, right alongside us, our neighbour is the University of Tasmania, and they built an earth station here, and we contacted them and said, look, can you provide us some radio waves from distinctive constellations? And so we decided to name our wines after distinctive constellations.
This isn't something that you would normally see during the tours, but we're cleaning out the old cellar at the moment, so...
Well, these are all old wines, are they?
Yeah, all old vintages of
How old are you
wines.
talking?
I know that it's kind of a bit of a mixed bag. There's a 77 rosé with the old cloth label.
No, 75. But you can't drink from 75. That's not going to be drinkable still, is it?
I doubt it, but I want to kind of preserve, the heritage side of what we used to do. And
what an amazing journey of discovery. I really feel like I know a whole lot more about Tasmanian wine, in fact, wine in general. As I look around here at this beautiful vineyard, I can't help wondering, do I have what it takes to become a winemaker? Or maybe just a wine appreciator. Everyone's got their place in this little equation.